The High Mobility Multipurpose Wheeled Vehicle, commonly known as the Humvee, is a four-wheel drive military automobile produced by AM General. It has largely supplanted the roles originally performed by the original Jeep, and older military light utility vehicles such as the Vietnam-era M151-104 short-ton Mutt, the M561 Gamma Goat, their M718A1 and M792 ambulance versions, the CUCV, and other light trucks. Primarily used by the United States military, it is also used by numerous other countries and organizations and even in civilian adaptations. The Humvee's widespread use in the Persian Gulf War helped inspire the civilian Hummer automotive marque. History: since the WWII-era Willys MB, the United States Army had relied on Jeeps to transport small groups of soldiers. The Jeep was built around a requirement for a compact vehicle with a folding windshield that was actually shorter than the Volkswagen Beetle. It had seats for a three-man crew with a 660 lb payload and weighed just over 1 ton. By the 1970s, the U.S. Army had tried larger militarized civilian trucks, but even these no longer satisfied newer requirements. In 1977, Lamborghini developed the Cheetah model in an attempt to meet the Army contract specifications. In 1979, the U.S. Army drafted final specifications for a high-mobility multipurpose wheeled vehicle, or HMMWV, which was to replace all the tactical vehicles in the 1/4 to 1 1/4 ton range. Compared to the Jeep, it was larger and had a much wider track, with a 16 in ground clearance, double that of most sport utility vehicles. The new truck was to climb a 60% incline and traverse a 40% slope. The air intake was to be mounted flush on top of the right fender of water, and electronics waterproof to drive through 2.5 ft of water was specified. The radiator was to be mounted high, sloping over the engine on a 4-hinged hood. In July 1979, AM General began preliminary design work. Less than a year later, the first prototype was in testing. Chrysler Defense and Teledyne Continental also produced competing designs. In June 1981, the Army awarded AM General a contract for development of several more prototype vehicles to be delivered to the government for another series of tests. In 1983, AM General was awarded the initial batch of a 5-year contract for nearly 55,000 HMMWVs to be delivered in 1985. The original M998AO series had a curb weight of 5,200 lb with a payload of 2,500 lb, with a 6.2L V8 diesel engine and a 3-speed automatic transmission. Fort Lewis, Washington and the 9th Infantry Division was the testing unit to employ HMMWV in the new concept of a motorized division. Yakima Training Center. Yakima, Washington was the main testing grounds for HMMWVs from 1985 through December 1991, when the motorized concept was abandoned and the division inactivated. Usage in combat. HMMWVs first saw combat in Operation Just Cause, the U.S. invasion of Panama in 1989. The HMMWV was designed primarily for personnel and light cargo transport behind front lines, not as a frontline fighting vehicle. Like the previous Jeep, the basic HMMWV has no armor or protection against chemical, biological, radiological or nuclear threats. Nevertheless, losses were relatively low in conventional operations, such as the Gulf War. Vehicles and crews suffered considerable damage and losses during the Battle of the Mogadishu due to the nature of the urban engagement. However, the chassis survivability allowed the majority of those crews to return to safety, though the HMMWV was never designed to offer protection against intense small arms fire, much less machine guns and rocket-propelled grenades. However, with the rise of asymmetric warfare and low-intensity conflicts, the HMMWV has been pressed into service in urban combat roles for which it was not originally intended. After Somalia, the military recognized a need for a more protected HMMWV and AM General developed the M1114, an armored HMMWV to withstand small arms fire. The M1114 has been in limited production since 1996, seeing limited use in the Balkans before deployment to the Middle East. This design is superior to the M998 with a larger, more powerful turbocharged engine, air conditioning, and a strengthened suspension system. More importantly, it boasts a fully armored passenger area protected by hardened steel and bullet-resistant glass. With the increase in direct attacks and guerrilla warfare in Iraq, AM General has diverted the majority of its manufacturing power to producing these vehicles. The HMMWV has become the vehicular backbone of U.S. forces around the world. Over 10,000 HMMWVs were employed by coalition forces during the Iraq War. Modifications. In December 2004, Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld came under criticism from U.S. troops and their families for not providing better-equipped HMMWVs. Rumsfeld pointed out that, prior to the war, armor kits were produced only in small numbers per year. As the role of American forces in Iraq changed from fighting the Iraqi army to suppressing the guerrilla insurgency, more armor kits were being manufactured, though perhaps not as fast as production facilities were capable of bringing them online. Even more advanced kits were also being developed. However, while these kits are much more effective against all types of attacks, they weigh between 1,500 to 2,200 lb and have some of the same drawbacks as the improvised armor. Unlike similar-sized civilian cargo and tow trucks, which typically have dual rear wheels to reduce sway, the HMMWV has single rear wheels due to its independent rear suspension coupled with the body design. Most up-armored HMMWVs holds up well against lateral attacks, when the blast is distributed in all different directions, but offers little protection from a mine blast below the truck, such as buried improvised explosive devices and land mines. Explosively formed penetrators can also defeat the armor kits, causing casualties. The armor kits fielded include the Armor Survivability Kit, the FRAG-5, FRAG-6, as well as upgrade kits to the M1151. The ASK was the first fielded, in October 2003, adding about 1,000 pounds to the weight of the vehicle. Armor Holdings fielded an even lighter kit, adding only 750 pounds to the vehicle's weight. The Marine Armor Kit, fielded in January 2005, offers more protection than the M1114, but also increases weight. The FRAG-5, the latest fielded armor kit, offers the greatest protection but may still be inadequate to stop EFP attacks. The FRAG-6 kit, designed to do just that, is still in development, however its increased protection comes at a hefty price. Over 1,000 lb is added to the vehicle over the FRAG-5 kit, and the width of the vehicle is increased by 2 feet. In addition, the doors may require a mechanical assist device to open and close. Another drawback of the up-armored HMMWVs occurs during an accident or attack, when the heavily armored doors tend to jam shut, trapping the troops inside. As a result, HMMWVs are being fitted with hooks on their doors, so that another vehicle can rip the door off, freeing the troops inside. In addition, vehicle emergency escape windows, developed by BAE Systems, are currently being fielded for use on the M1114 up-armored HMMWV, with 1,000 kits ordered. The soldier manning the exposed crew-served weapon on top of the vehicle is extremely vulnerable. In response, many HMMWVs have been fitted with basic gun shields or turrets, as was the case with M113 APCs after they were first deployed in Vietnam. The U.S. military is currently evaluating a new form of protection, developed by BAE Systems as well as systems designed by the Army, which are already in theater. The new gunner's seat is protected by 1.5 to 2 feet high steel plates with bulletproof glass windows. Additionally, some HMMWVs have been fitted with a remotely operated Crow's weapon station, which slaves the machine gun to controls in the back seats so it can be fired without exposing the crew. The Boomerang anti-sniper system is also being fielded by some HMMWVs in Iraq to immediately give troops the location of insurgents firing on them. Another weakness for the HMMWV has proven to be its size, which has limited its deployment in Afghanistan because it is too wide for the smallest roads and too large for many forms of air transport compared to Jeep or Land Rover-sized vehicles. This size also limits the ability for the vehicle to be manhandled out of situations. Alternatives: the Army has purchased a purpose-built armored car, the M1117 Armored Security Vehicle, in limited numbers for use by the United States Army Military Police Corps. In 2007, the Marine Corps announced an intention to replace all HMMWVs in Iraq with MRAPs due to high loss rates, and issued contracts for the purchase of several thousand of these vehicles, which include the International Mauch Pro MATV, the BAEO MCRG-31, the BAERG-33 and Cayman, and the Force Protection Cougar, which have been deployed primarily for mine-clearing duties. Heavier models of infantry mobility vehicles can also be used for patrol vehicles. Some MRAP vehicles have been known to become stuck or roll over much more readily due to their high center of gravity and overall larger size compared to the HMMWV. Future and replacement. The Humvee replacement process, now being undertaken by the U.S. military, is focused on interim replacement with MRAPs and long-term replacement with the Joint Light Tactical Vehicle. The HMMWV has evolved several times since its introduction, and is now used in tactical roles for which it was never originally intended. The military is pursuing several initiatives to replace it, both in the short and long terms. The short-term replacement efforts utilize commercial off-the-shelf vehicles as part of the Mine-Resistant Ambush Protected program. These vehicles are procured to replace Humvees in combat theaters. The long-term replacement for the Humvee is the Joint Light Tactical Vehicle, which is designed from the ground up. The Future Tactical Truck Systems program was initiated to make an analysis of potential requirements for a Humvee replacement. Various prototype vehicles such as the Millen Works Light Utility Vehicle, and the Ultra AP have been constructed as part of these efforts. The U.S. Marine Corps issued a request for proposals in 2013 for its Humvee Sustainment Modification Initiative to upgrade 6,700 expanded capacity vehicles. The Marines plan to field the Joint Light Tactical Vehicle, but do not have enough funding to completely replace all Humvees, so they decided to continue sustaining their fleet. Key areas of improvement include the suspension, engine, and transmission. Upgrades to the suspension would reduce the amount of force transferred to the chassis, lowering operation and maintenance costs. Additionally, upgrades to the engine and transmission would help to make the vehicles more fuel efficient, and enhancements to the cooling system will better prevent overheating. The Marine Corps is also looking at incorporating a central tire inflation system to allow for reduced tire pressures during off-road use to improve mobility and ride quality. They are also seeking to increase the underbody survivability. Testing of upgraded Humvees will occur in 2014, with production and installation occurring from 2015 through 2018. Older A2 series Humvees make up half the current fleet, and 4,000 are to be disposed of through foreign military sales and transfers. By 2017, the Marines' light tactical vehicle fleet is to consist of 3,500 A2 series Humvees, 9,500 ECV Humvees, and 5,500 JLTVs, with 18,500 vehicles in total. Humvees in service with the Marine Corps will be upgraded through 2030. Oshkosh Corporation is offering Humvee upgrades to the Marine Corps in addition to its JLTV offering. Oshkosh has developed modular and scalable Humvee upgrade solutions, providing varying levels of capabilities at a range of price points, that can be provided individually or as complete solutions for upgrading all critical vehicle systems. Their approach addresses requirements for engine and powertrain, suspension, driveline, hubs and brakes, frame and hull, electrical, cooling, and auxiliary automotive improvements. The TAK4 independent suspension system delivers 70% off-road profile capability, improved ride quality, and a 40% increase in maximum speed. It also gives greater whole vehicle durability, a restored 2,500 pound payload capacity, and a restored ground clearance of 17 inches. Oshkosh also can deliver a modern engine option that a Euro 1 registered trademark S more powerful than the Humvee Euro 1 registered trademark S stock engine and provides increased fuel efficiency. The U.S. Army and Marine Corps have vowed commitment to buying nearly 55,000 JLTVs even in the face of sequestration cuts. This level of support is given while major acquisition programs like the Ground Combat Vehicle are in danger of cuts, which may mean the Army is favoring replacing Humvees more than the M2 Bradley. How many light vehicles that will need to be reduced are still being determined, but they are hoped to direct the effects to the existing Humvee fleet. Design features. The Humvee seats fall with an available fully enclosed metal cabin with a vertical windshield. The body is constructed from lightweight and rust-resistant aluminum, instead of conventional steel. It has all-wheel drive with an independent suspensions and helical gear reduction hubs similar to portal axles which attach towards the top rather than center of each wheel to allow the drivetrain shafts to be raised for a full 16 in of ground clearance. The body is mounted on a narrow steel frame with boxed rails and 5 cross members for rigidity. The rails act as sliders to protect the drivetrain which is nestled between and above the rails. Raising the drivetrain into the cabin area and lowering the seats into the frame creates a massive chest-high transmission hump which separates passengers on each side and lowers the overall center of gravity compared to most trucks where the body and passengers are above the frame. The vehicle also has disc brakes on all 4 wheels, and 4-wheel double wishbone suspension. The brake discs are not mounted at the wheels as on conventional automobiles, but are inboard, attached to the outside of each differential. The front and rear differentials are torsion type, and the center differential is irregular, lockable type. Torque biasing differentials allows forward movement as long as at least one wheel has traction. It runs on specialized 37x 12.5 radial tires with low-profile run-flat devices. Some HMMWVs are equipped with an optional central tire inflation system, which enables pressure to be lowered for soft ground or raised for hard pavement. While it is optimized for off-road mobility, it can drive at highway speeds of 55 mph at maximum weight with a top speed of 70 mph. HMMWVs are well suited for air mobile operations as they are transportable by C-130 or larger combat transports, droppable by parachute, and can be sling-loaded from helicopters, though there are smaller vehicles such as the Growler which were designed to fit into smaller craft such as the V-22. In combat conditions, the HMMWV can be delivered by the low-altitude parachute extraction system which pulls the vehicle out of the open rear ramp just above the ground without the aircraft having to land. There are at least 17 variants of the HMMWV in service with the United States Armed Forces. HMMWVs serve as cargo troop carriers, automatic weapons platforms, ambulances, M220 tow missile carriers, M119 howitzer prime movers, M1097 Avenger pedestal-mounted Stinger platforms, MRQ-12 direct air support vehicles, S-250 shelter carriers, and other roles. The HMMWV is capable of fording 2.5 AFT normally, or 5 AFT with the deep water fording kits installed. Optional equipment includes a winching supplemental armor. The M1025 per meter 1026 and M1043 per meter 1044 armament carriers provide mounting and firing capabilities for the M134 minigun, the Mk19 grenade launcher, the M2 heavy machine gun, the M240 GB machine gun and M249 LMG. The M1114 up-armored HMMWV, introduced in 2004, also features a similar weapons mount. In addition, some M1114 and M1116 up-armored and M1117 armored security vehicle models feature a common remotely operated weapons station, which allows the gunner to operate from inside the vehicle, and/or the boomerang anti-sniper detection system. Recent improvements have also led to the development of the M1151 model, which is quickly rendering the previous models obsolete. By replacing the M1114, M1116, and earlier armored HMMWV types with a single model, the U.S. Army hopes to lower maintenance costs. Versions. Major HMMWV versions: M56 Coyote Smoke Generator Carrier, M707 Night HMMWV, M966 HMMWV Tow Armored, M996 Mini Ambulance, Armored, M997 Marksy Ambulance, Armored, M998 Cargo Troop, M998 HMMWV Avenger, M1025 Armament Carrier, Armored, M1026 Armament Carrier, Armored WW, M1035 Soft Top Ambulance, M1036 TOW Armored WW, M1037 S-250 per second 788 Shelter Carrier, M1038 Cargo Troop Carrier WW, M1042 S-250 per second 788 Shelter Carrier WW, M1043 Armament Carrier, Up Armored, M1044 Armament Carrier, Up Armored WW, M1045 TOW Up Armored Armor, M1046 TOW Up Armored Armor WW, M1069 Tractor for M119 105mm gun, M1097 Heavy, M1097 Heavy HMMWV Avenger, M1109 Up Armored Armament Carrier, Active Denial System, Ground Mobility Vehicle, IMETS, Zeus HLONS, Expanded Capacity. The M1113 has been selected by the U.S. Army as its A2 chassis for HMMWV purchases. Currently, the ECV is used for special operations vehicles and communications shelter carriers. During 1995, production of the M1114 based on the improved ECV chassis began. The M1114 meets Army requirements for a scout, military police, and explosive ordnance disposal vehicle with improved ballistic protection levels. The M1114 provides protection against 7.62 mm armor-piercing projectiles, 155 mm artillery airbursts and 12 lb anti-tank mine blasts. The U.S. Air Force has a number of these vehicles under the designation M1116, specifically designed to meet the requirements of the Air Force. The M1116 features an expanded cargo area, armored housing for the turret gunner, and increased interior heating and air conditioning system. The M1114 and M1116 receive armor at ORA Hess and Eisenhart Armoring Company of Fairfield, Ohio. The M1145 offers the protection of the M1114 and M1116 for Air Force Air Support Operations Squadrons. Modifications include perimeter ballistic protection, overhead burst protection, IED protection, mine blast protection, and white glass transparent armor. These extended capacity HMMWVs can drive over an 18-ohm vertical wall and carry a 6,820 lb payload. M1114 Up Armored Armament Carrier, M1115 Up Armored Tow Carrier, M1116 Up Armored HMMWV, M1121 Up Armored Tow Carrier, M1123 Up Armored HMMWV, M1124 Up Armored HMMWV, M1145 Up Armored HMMWV, M1151 Up Armored Capable HMMWV, M1152 Up Armored Capable HMMWV, M1165 Up Armored HMMWV, M1167 Up Armored Tow Carrier, Packhorse a Euro attachment to convert an M1097 to tractor version for semi-trailers. Scorpion a Euro version fitted with 2B9 Vasilk 82 ohm automatic mortar. This is a heavy chassis HMMWV developed in 2004 by engineers at the U.S. Army's Picatinny Arsenal. The mortar itself can fire on single shots or on automatic using 4-round clips. Range for direct fire is 1000 m and indirect fire is 4000 m. It is also intended to provide another means of destroying roadside bombs but at a safer standoff range. Only one has been produced. Composite HMMWV a Euro A prototype developed by TPI Composites of Rhode Island and AM General. The purpose of the concept vehicle is to reduce the vehicle's weight so that it may more easily carry an up-armor kit. TPI's all-composite HMMWV saves approximately 900 pounds when compared to a current steel and aluminum HMMWV. A prototype XM1124 hybrid electric Humvee on an M1113 Humvee chassis powered by a diesel series hybrid featuring an all-electric drivetrain has been developed by a DECOM TARC. The vehicle has a 6 mi full electric range for silent operations. International versions. Bulgarian HMMWVs have been fitted with PKS general-purpose machine guns. Bulgaria usually replaces Western machine guns on its vehicles to simplify maintenance, since the country is an active producer of Russian weapons. EQ2050/SQF2040 are Euro-Chinese versions of the HMMWV. There are at least 2 Chinese automobile manufacturers building HMMWV copies. Both HMMWV copies rely heavily on imported US-made parts, including the chassis, gearbox, and diesel engine. Both manufacturers claim that they will be able to gradually increase the percentage of indigenous-made content on the vehicles in the future, since the PLA is unlikely to accept any equipment that relies largely on foreign-made parts. Egypt AOI equips HMMWVs with anti-armor weaponry, including TOW, Milan, or HOT missiles. Georgian HMMWVs have been fitted with PK general-purpose machine guns. Greece Greek HMMWVs, built entirely by ELBO in Greece, are equipped to fire the Russian 9M133 Kornet ATGM. They have storage room for 10 missiles. Another version, the M1115GR, is equipped with the HKGM G40. Israel's Plisson has developed armored versions of the HMMWV, assembled by ELBO in Greece as the M1114GR, M1115G and M1118GR. ELBO also produced the ambulance version, an SOF version, and an engineering version of the HMMWV for the Hellenic Army. Israel Plisson has also designed and supplied an HMMWV armored protection kit for the Portuguese Army, and a different version assembled by Automotive Industries in Nazareth for the Israel Defense Forces. Mexico the Dirección General de Industria Militar, the Mexican Army's prime wholly owned military manufacturer, builds the HMMWV under license in Mexico after a small amount of American-built Humvees proved to be reliable within the Mexican Army. Mexican HMMWVs are similar to the American-built models but are slightly longer. They feature a standard selective shift automatic transmission connected to a Mercedes-Benz diesel engine and an anti-spalling layer in the passenger cabin. Many are equipped with bulletproof windows and a layer of armor unique to these Mexican HMMWVs. In 2010, Mexico displayed a wagon variant with a second gun hatch to cover the rear of the vehicle. This version also featured a more powerful V12 engine and civilian road wheels to increase top speed capabilities in urban areas. Poland Polish land forces operate 222 HMMWVs. Over 200 are used by the 18th Airborne Battalion, which is a part of the 6th Air Assault Brigade. The used variants are designated as follows: Tumak 2 M1043A2, Tumak 3 M1025A2, Tumak 4 M1097A2, Tumak 5 M1045A2, Tumak 6 M1097A2, Tumak 7 M1035A2. All vehicles are modified to meet Polish road regulations and are equipped with Polish communication devices. 140 HMMWVs are equipped with Phonet digital internal communication device. 120 Tumak 2s and Tumak 3s have a rotatable mount which can be fitted with either the UKM 2000 P7.62 ohm general purpose machine gun or the NSWB 12.7 ohm heavy machine gun. Tumak 5s are used by anti-tank subunits and are armed with a dismountable Spike missile. Additionally, Polish forces of ISAF operate 120 HMMWVs on loan from the US forces. Switzerland. Early MOWAG Eagle light armored vehicles utilized the HMMWV chassis, although the latest uses a Doro 3 chassis. The Eagle is an NBC-tight, air-conditioned and armor-protected vehicle. It is in service and available in several configurations with varying levels of armor protection. The Eagle can be fitted with a wide assortment of armaments. Turkey. Otoka Cobra, is a wheeled armored vehicle developed by Turkish firm Otoka which uses some mechanical components, subsystems and some parts of the HMMWV operators. In Afghanistan Euro 4150 M1152 and M1151 versions used by the Afghan National Army. Afghanistan has ordered 3,334 more in 2010 and 2011 for the National Police, National Guard and other military. 950 M1114 vehicles delivered to the Army by November 2012. a Albania Euro 20 vehicles, and Algeria Euro 200 plus vehicles, a Argentina Euro EA, 250 vehicles. FAA, 70. Gendarmeria, approximately 40 vehicles, and IMARA, 300 vehicles, a Bahrain Euro vehicles sold by the U.S. under the Foreign Military Sales Program. A Bosnia and Herzegovina Euro ordered a small number of vehicles for demining units in Iraq. A Bolivia Euro approximately 50 vehicles with the Green Devils anti-narcotic unit and Rangers. A Botswana Euro 40, a Bulgaria Euro 52 vehicles, 50 are the up-armored M1114 variant, and 2 are ambulances. A Canadian Forces Euro small numbers in use by JTF-2 and CSOR in Afghanistan. To be replaced by Jackal. A Chad Euro vehicles sold by the U.S. under the Foreign Military Sales Program. A Chile Euro Army 250 plus vehicles, Marines 45 plus vehicles, a Colombia Euro 400 plus vehicles, a Croatia Euro 85 units, mostly used in Afghanistan ISAF mission. A Czech Republic Euro mainly 600 1st Special Forces Group. A Denmark, 30. A Djibouti Euro vehicles sold by the U.S. under the Foreign Military Sales Program. Dominican Republic Euro, and El Salvador Euro 20 vehicles, a Ecuador Euro approximately 130 vehicles in the Ecuadorian Army. An Egypt Euro 3,890 plus, an Ethiopian Euro vehicles sold by the U.S. under the Foreign Military Sales Program. A Georgia Euro 110 plus, a Greece Euro 600 plus vehicles built under license by ELBO. A Honduras Euro vehicles sold by the U.S. under the Foreign Military Sales Program. A Hungary Euro 27 vehicles for units in Afghanistan. A Iraq Euro during the Iraq War, stockpiled U.S. military HMMWVs were given to the Iraqi Army, Iraqi security forces. The Iraqi military has more than 10,000 plus Humvees. Some of these have been captured by the Islamic State in Iraq and the Levant in the 2014 uprising. Israel Euro 2,000 plus vehicles, formerly assembled by AIL from knockdown kits. Kazakhstan, a Kuwait Euro vehicles sold by the U.S. under the Foreign Military Sales Program. A Jordan Euro 130 plus, a Kenya Euro a number of vehicles are used by the security forces. A Latvia Euro 60 vehicles, a Lebanon Euro 1287 vehicles and an additional 40 Humvees are scheduled to be delivered in April 2014. Libya Euro 200 donated by the U.S. Army in July 2013. Lithuania Euro about 200 vehicles bought from the USA. A Luxembourg Euro 43 vehicles, Republic of Macedonia Euro 80 vehicles, Mexico Euro vehicles sold by the U.S. under the Foreign Military Sales Program. 3,000 vehicles in service. Monaco Euro Compagnie des Carabiniers du Prince Euro 6 plus, Mongolia Euro 30 vehicles, a Montenegro, Morocco, New Zealand Euro small number of M1114s used in Afghanistan and trialed at Lake Tekapo training ground. Norway, 6 vehicles Norwegian Air Force, Pakistan, is planning to acquire 20,000 Chinese Humvees and to be produced locally. Panama Euro 7 vehicles, Oman Euro vehicles sold by the U.S. under the Foreign Military Sales Program. A Philippines Euro 300 vehicles, a Poland Euro 217 vehicles, a Peru Euro 34 vehicles. Possible upcoming purchase of 100 additional vehicles. A Portugal, a Taiwan Euro vehicles sold by the U.S. under the Foreign Military Sales Program 7,000 plus vehicles, a Romania Euro 122 vehicles, a Russia Euro 8 Jordan HMMWVs were seized by Russian forces during the 2008 South Ossetia War. A Saudi Arabia Euro vehicles were sold to Saudi Arabia by the United States under the Foreign Military Sales Program. A Serbia Euro 21 vehicles, 17 unarmored and 4 armored vehicles, donated to the Serbian Armed Forces by the U.S. government, a Slovakia Euro mainly 5th Special Forces Regiment. A Slovenia Euro 54 vehicles, a Spain Euro 150 plus vehicles only by the Infanteria de Marina. A Sudan a Euro vehicles sold by the U.S. under the Foreign Military Sales Program. A Tanzania a Euro vehicles sold by the U.S. under the Foreign Military Sales Program. Thailand, a Tunisia a Euro vehicles sold by the U.S. under the Foreign Military Sales Program. A Turkey, a Ukraine a Euro 50 vehicles at the 95th Airmobile Brigade, 10 vehicles were donated to the Polish a Euro Ukrainian Peace Force Battalion. A United Arab Emirates, a United States a Euro Army, 260,000, Marine Corps, 44,000, a Uganda a Euro approximately 50, a Venezuela a Euro, a Yemen a Euro 13 vehicles, replicas, kits have been produced for the general market to turn a sedan into a Humvee look-alike. An alternative is to buy a pre-constructed Wombat. Various kits exist, but one of the most famous names is the Volkswagen Beetle-based Wombat. It can be purchased built for about $18,000. This puts it considerably cheaper than the actual HMMWV, or Hummer. In Australia, a Gold Coast-based company called Rhino Buggies produces replicas of the Hummer H1 based on the Nissan Patrol 4WD vehicle for around $30,000 Australian. Similar vehicles, Tuna a Euro Venezuelan military vehicle, GAZ 2975 TIGR a Euro Russian military vehicle, currently in service. Kaukaidoya the military version of the Toyota Mega Cruiser. The Kaukaidoya is in service with the Japan Self-Defense Forces. Mahindra Axe is a vehicle planned to be manufactured by Mahindra in India. Iveco LMV, Pindad Komodo, AMZ2 a Polish military vehicle. In middle future AMZ2s can replace all of Polish Tumacs. Renault Shelp a French military vehicle, LSV is a new vehicle built by Tata Motors and is undergoing trials for the Indian Army. Eurovamtrak is a Spanish four-wheel drive military vehicle manufactured by Eurovisa, MOWAG Eagle, Agrail Moa, Brazil, marine multi-purpose vehicle a Euro Philippines, Hummer H1, H2, and H3. The H1 is a civilian derivative of the HMMWV, while the H2 and H3 are based on regular GM truck chassis and styled after it. See also, List of M-Series military vehicles. Dongfeng Motor Corporation EQ 2050, a Chinese derivative. Lamborghini Cheetah, an Italian contender for the original HMMWV contract. Eurovamtrak, a Spanish derivative. Otoka Cobra, a light armored vehicle utilizing HMMWV parts. Sandstorm, an HMMWV modified into an autonomous vehicle. Notes. External links, AM General HMMWV page. Models, history, and specs, the oldest Humvee in the world. Pre-production HMMWV M998 VAN 00046A. Army fact file, plus and Sasa variant, M1114 up armored Humvee, HMMWV variants, specs, and pictures. Captured HMMWV on display in Belgrade, Danish HMMWV armed with tow, HMMWV off-road.com article, HMMWV high mobility multi-purpose wheeled vehicle on army-technology.com.